Hey everybody, it's Craig with another video. I don't intend to make this video too long, but I got some news today that I was let go from the government, federal government position that I've been working for quite some time. Not as long as many of my colleagues, but I've definitely been working a government position for, let me put this down a little bit so y'all can see my face. I've definitely been working in the government position for a good balance of time. I also have military time, so I've been working for the federal government for quite a while. And so, yeah, so got the RIF notice this morning, and I actually thought I would feel a different way than what I feel now, but the reality is I actually feel okay. I think that I think the pivot in my heart started much earlier than it does for most people who find themselves a little bit disenchanted with the government or with government work or with civil service work, who might want to do something different. Anybody who's been following my channel, the 5 or 6 of you who do, no, all my 90 subscribers, I love you guys, and the ones who watch my videos. But anybody who's been following my stuff, you realize and you know that I did a whole series on how to prepare for transition out of the government if you were affected by the layoffs, if you were affected by certain things. And so all of that's available on my channel. And so now I find myself in a position where I now have to give that same advice to myself. And I was thinking, if I had to give advice to myself, and if I had to tell myself what to do in this situation, what would I do? That's how I was able to make you guys' videos and some of the helpful resources that you have. And now I find myself in that same position. So I like to really think about 3 points. You know, whenever I talk about anything, I like to break it down into 3 points, right? So I think the first point would be to reflect. And when I say reflect, I think reflecting on the time that I was able to spend in the job that I was doing with the government, reflecting on the projects and tasks and different things that were done that I had a hand in, which I did out of the goodness of my heart and my work ethic, and wanting to make a difference and wanting to do something that was noteworthy, was honorable, and that had integrity, wanting to serve my country well. And that's something that I can reflect on and be proud of. That's something I can reflect on and be really grateful for, be really thankful for. That's something that I can cherish and take with me for the rest of my life, that I was able to, in some small way, hopefully, impact somebody's life by the things that I was doing, by the work I was doing with the federal government. And the second thing I would say I would do after thinking about this whole idea of reflecting, I think the second thing is the second R, and that is to realize. That is to come to realization. To come to a realization that it is time to move in a different direction. I think oftentimes when we have things like this happen in our lives, I think oftentimes we are so tied and connected in our identity to whatever it was we were doing that we fail to come to the necessary realizations that we have to come to. Whether that realization is, okay, it's time for me to do something else. It's time for me to make a different decision. It's time for me to pursue a passion that I've always wanted to pursue. And it is a mind shift to realize something that you should have realized many years before. I would say to you that I probably should have started realizing that God was moving me in a different direction many years ago. But I think because of the stability and the supposed security that the government offers, I mean, we know now from all of the news reports and, kind of the current events that are happening, we know now that, I mean, you can't really bank on anything these days. Nothing is safe. But I think that caused me to really not pursue what I knew I was capable of and what I knew my utmost potential was. And that, if I'm honest, that's a very precarious place to be in life when you are so comfortable, you are so complacent, you become so lackadaisical in your pursuit of your career that you don't realize that you are living well below your potential. And sometimes it takes somebody else or someone else or another circumstance or situation to push you, nudge you, edge you out of that complacency. And I feel like that's what happened with me. I mean, there is something that I have often said to people. It's something that I feel like I had an aha moment some time ago, and this dropped on me, and that is this. The reality is, family, anybody who's listening to me, I want y'all to hear this. The reality is there are things in life that you might be gifted, have the talent and the ability to do, that you have the skill set to do, that you have the acumen. You can really do this thing, whether that's accounting or anything in the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, anything in the psychological field, anything in the philosophical realm, anything with regard to trades, electricians, journeymen, people who do different kinds of things. You may have the ability to do those things, right? Those might be things that you simply have the gifting and the talent to do. But the reality is, it may not be the thing you're supposed to be doing. So I think one of the things in life that I've learned is sometimes you have to forfeit what you can do, what you are able to do, to get to the place where you're doing what you're supposed to do, where you're fulfilling your purpose, where you're fulfilling your calling, where you're fulfilling God's given intention to you to pursue your passion, your dreams, your hopes, and everything that you've ever desired. I feel like something was reaching in my heart and the whole time pulling out passion from me where I wasn't able to see it myself. I feel like that's what was going on with me. And I feel like this situation, this circumstance, this particular crucible, so to speak, I want to speak to somebody right now and say, whatever this is, study it to see what it means for you, government employee, for you, Fed worker, for you, person who's retiring, for you, person who feels like they got the rug pulled out from underneath them, you, person who feels like they got hit by a Mack truck because they had all these plans and visions and dreams and career interests, and they thought the government was so secure. I want to challenge you to look into yourself and find out what is the thing that you will now hold on to, because you got to let go of what you thought was secure or what you thought was stable or what you thought was a solid rock. I'm going through the same thing. I think I made the mistake of believing that my government job would always be there. And now I've had to come to a realization, maybe it would have been better to learn how to practice how to bet on myself, so that when the time came where I had to do it, I was already in practice. But guess what? Either you learn the lesson from what happened to somebody else, or you learn the lesson because you went through it yourself. And it just so happened, it's happening now that in Providence, I'm going to learn this lesson by going through it myself. And I want to say that as an encouragement to all of you. You will learn that lesson as well. Those of you who really saw government work as something that you were going to do for the rest of your working life, whether you decided to retire at 62, 65, 67, all the Social Security ages, I'm here to let you know that you still have gas in the tank to fulfill your purpose. Don't now sit or go into despair or go in the doldrums, because I think I might title this video, I got laid off, now what? Or I was let go from my job, now what? There is so much on the other side of that, now what? But you will not find out the beauty of it. You will not find out the power of it. You won't find out the legitimacy of it until you make up in your mind, I'm going to have the courage to go to the other side and see. As my grandmother used to say, coming up in church, I believe I'll run on and see what the end is going to be. Those of you out there who know, you know. But let this be a video of encouragement. Let this be a video of hope. Let this be a video of reassurance that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are exactly on the timeline of your life, of your career, of your passion, dreams, and purpose. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You may not understand it right now. You may not see it that way right now, but you are exactly where you are supposed to be. We are exactly where we are supposed to be. And there is a success. There's a wealth. There is a dream. There is a goal. There's a hope that you have not yet even seen. That's on the other side of this pain that you're experiencing. This shock to your pride of always feeling like you had something in the bag. Always feeling like you had that stability and security. Man, it's time for you to take that risk. It's time for you to take your operational risk management structure and just turn it on its head. And man, experience the adventure and the freedom, experience all of those things that you always wanted to do, that childlike curiosity that you've always wanted to do. It's time for you to experience that. It's time for you to grow, and it's time for you to get out your comfort zone. I'm talking to myself. It's time for all of us to experience the greatness that we've always desired. Why? Because we were made not just to survive, but we were made to thrive. And everybody, all of us, were made and created to live royally and to live well. Listen, look out for all kinds of content. Look out for all kinds of strategies. Man, I'm so excited for what I'm going to be able to bring you guys now. I'm so excited for all of the different resources, and not just resources, not just educational things. I'm so excited for how we will grow and learn together in this journey of how to show up as our best selves. So join me on that journey, and drop in a comment below if you've got let go today, what you learned from it. Even if it's something that's really tough, even if it's something that's really hard, drop it in the comment section, let me know. And let's talk about it. Let's come around and support one another in this time. And let's see what the future is going to be, which I know is bright. All right, y'all. Thanks. This is Craig Carlton signing out, and I'll see you on the next video.